All right. I didn't check my audio. Let me check my audio right quick. A quick mic check. You know how we do it. We're about to get it in tonight. Always. Trump keeping us busier and busier. Testing mic check 1, 2. All right. So we in there. Setting up. Tonight we're going to talk about, I haven't talked about this yet, this UN thing. Yo, Trump is crazy. Trump is out of his mind. There's people around him. If we didn't know he was crazy before, we should know at this point. It should be where we wouldn't have to even discuss it anymore. Let me bring this over to the screen so I don't look like I'm looking away from y'all. We should not have to even think about pretending like we have to discuss this. The elevator freezes while he's going up, but it's his videographer that does it. The teleprompter gets messed up. Oh no, not 2 things at the UN going wrong. Had to be sabotaged, except for it was his people that messed up the teleprompter. And what did these crazy ass Republicans say? These literal lunatic Republicans, what are their response? The B word, to destroy the UN? Like, it's the middle of Manhattan, stupid? Like, yo, it's just getting worse and worse somehow. And I didn't think it could get worse. I'm a fool because I didn't think it could get worse. They're talking about, we're talking about people that are supposed to be heavily, the people we're supposed to be able to rely on and trust, and I don't rely on and trust them. The people that many of these pundits, these people that you're supposed to rely on and trust, you can't rely on and trust these people. They're talking about the UN. It's in Manhattan. Like, I can't even say the word. I don't know if I'll get sensitive. They'll take the video down. I can't even say the threats that Trump's people are saying that they want to do to the UN. Like, I can't even, it's so bad I can't say it on YouTube. I know y'all heard it. I don't know why this isn't working, so I can't just. All right, there we go. Boom. I can give y'all my undivided. Well, first, let me make sure my cohort is coming in. Oh, I got to give him the link. Blah, 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 blah. So YouTube did this serious update that it messes things up. Oh, I got to give him the Zoom link. Right. Okay. Because it wasn't YouTube that, excuse me, YouTube, it was Zoom. And so he's running late, but it's my fault. Because this thing is stupid. All right, let me get him this link. I'm looking for him to pop in, and he's looking for me to send him the link, but he ain't saying nothing. I don't got time. And let me get him this link. And it's different every time. And I don't understand why that would be. But he got it now. So now we can talk about this a little bit more deeper, a little deeper, a little bit more deeper, a little deeper in a very. Oh, he's in the chat, so I'm gonna let him in. I don't see you. I don't see you. Do I have to do amazing things and work on this right quick? Oh man, I want to get started. It's 9 o'clock. Let's do this right quick to get him in so we can move forward.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I don't see you. It's not giving me a thing to let you in. Did you go to the new link I sent you?
No, I didn't have it for a long time. That's why. Okay, now it's coming, it's loading.
All right.
Okay, all right.
And just like that, the magic happens. This is how the magic happens when you know, dealing with it on the back end. This is how the magic happens. Just like this. Just like this. So we have the Honorable Dion Powell with us. And because of that, I'm ready to get started.
All right, let's go. Think tank.
Welcome to the Think Tank. We use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. As always, on our Sundays, I'm here with the Honorable Dion Powell representing the. Well, go ahead, Dion. Introduce yourself. I don't have to introduce you. You're a big boy.
I'm trying. Hopefully, I'm big and live and living color. I'm the 78th Assembly District Leader, Dion Powell of the Bronx Conservative Party. Sadly but surely, a lot of people are going to be doged if they don't get this deal on the ground by October 1st, at midnight, at a stroke. And Trump apologists, consultants, strategists, all those wonderful, beautiful things, community leader as well. So I'm trying to let the goatee grow in because, it's that time of year.
So much to talk about, so little time, as always, because Trump keeps us on our toes. He keeps us busy. I was just saying that your boy Trump was trying to visit the UN earlier last week. When he talked about it, somehow his videographer tripped up the escalator and the escalator stopped and the first lady was in danger because, oh my God, the stairs weren't moving. And what else happened? There was something about her teleprompter where, oh my God, now he has to actually speak instead of reading off a teleprompter. Wait a minute, I thought that's what he was doing the entire time. I thought he didn't use teleprompters. Now the teleprompter's going, he's off script. He sounds like a buffoon. And oh my God, they're trying to sabotage me. They're talking about doing things to the UN, which sits in the middle of Manhattan that I'm not even sure I can say on YouTube. These pundits, your cohorts, are saying doing things to the UN in middle of Manhattan that have to do with some types of arson, but from the US military, from airplanes, in the middle of Manhattan. What is wrong with them people, bro? First of all, before you answer that, are you one of the people that is still the UN set him up?
Well, let's just say the United Nations gets a lot of money and resources and real estate from the United States of America. They need to be more on point. Does that make sense?
How are you going to be on point when you let the president's team in and the president's team messes it up? It was his videographer. It was the people that set up the teleprompter for him. It was his team. How do you fix the incompetence of the White House?
Well, again, we're the leaders of the world. They need us more so. So, as to why this is news as opposed to what else is going on in the world, like Christians getting slaughtered in Nigeria and some other matters, yes, let's just make fun of the president of the United States that we need to try to solve some of these wars.
Yeah, right. Because you know he's going to solve a war one day, eventually, maybe. I've solved 7 wars. Oh, yeah, this guy, he's a clown. No, he's the president of the United States, so he's dangerous. But the people that are a part of your MAGA movement have threatened to do things or have called for things to be done to the United Nations that are, I dare say, border on absurdity. Are you in agreement that they should not be making calls to threaten a place where the leaders of the world come together? Can we agree on that?
Yes, but then again, we should also be able to agree that if the United Nations wants to have some real impartiality, maybe it should move out of New York and somewhere else. Remember, the League of Nations wasn't even in America? Maybe you know what? If you want to say, hey, we're not influence controlled or have any problems, then get out somewhere else. Get some other real estate instead of in the heart of the economic capital of the world, New York City.
You know, I don't know how long that's going to remain the economic capital of the world under the current situation. The UN leaving will be one more step toward what seems to be progressively occurring. But that aside, my last on that particular subject before we move forward, or we're probably going to revisit several times through the night. My last right now on it is the pundits for the MAGA movement should not be calling for war strikes on the United Nations, which presently sits in the middle of New York City. That's crazy. And the fact that you can't call them on it is why some people say it's a cult.
Well, all
Because
the
you should
rhetoric on
easily
the
be
left
able to say, nah, that's
side
wild.
with fascism and Hitler, all that rhetoric needs to stop on the left side, but it won't in the media because you can't stop it. Where on this side, we're just all talk. Whereas the left side, as you can see, they're doing a lot of violent actions, like today in the Mormon church. But I guess we'll talk about that another time.
Today in the Mormon church. So who was the person in the Mormon church that did it? Let's talk about it real quick since you brought it up. Who did it? Just like all the other attacks, who did it? Oh, it was Antifa, right? Oh, wait. Or was it a white guy from middle America that was born up Republican? Which one was it? Because black people don't go inside of churches shooting churches up.
Nobody brings up black people but themselves and people that want to use black people to
So
change the
then
subject
why you bring
matter.
it so then who did it then?
Who
Because the
did
people that
it?
do that kind of thing are Republicans.
That's not true. Of late, my friend, the article just came out that extremism on the left, the violence has increased on that side. So the historical context
Based
we're
on
talking
what
about
based on
has
what
changed
evidence? Based on what evidence?
based on the evidence of the article that came out. What was it, New York Times or Axios? I think I put out there. But yes, long story short, there's more violence coming from the left of late, and that's a fact.
That's not a fact. That is an opinion based on facts that have not been concluded, such as the one that the last big one that happened when the guy got shot, and it was like, oh, it's the left, it's the left, it's the left, but nothing to connect him for the left has come out. The only thing that's come out is he come from a Republican town, Ohio, or something like that, where he was raised by two Republican parents. Nothing is connected him to the left. Except, well, wait a minute, he was gay, so he had to be leftist. Which is like, oh, right, so I guess your drag queen vice president has got to be left too. It's all nonsense. Nothing connects them to the left. Everything connects them to the right. That article is biased because there's no evidence connected. I've been looking to see what connected. And like I told you, the day it happened, there is nothing to connect him, and it won't be a left person.
And it
And
won't come from the left news source. So you'll never find it looking in the left news media. I'll tell you
I
that
have
much.
looked, no. I looked left, right, and middle. There is nothing, no evidence at all connecting them to the left. None.
So you've looked at Fox News then. You looked at Newsmax
Yeah, actually, I do.
and
And
Epic
they speak
Times.
and they speak a lot of rhetoric, but they have produced no evidence. They cannot link him to anything left. They have not been able to do that. They have not been able to do that. They do a lot of rhetoric, but when you get down to the facts, there is nothing. Period.
Well, let's move on and let the viewer decide.
Oh well, but hopefully some guys like to listen to facts. What is the next subject? Yes. Comey's indictment of Lindsey Halligan, the Comey indictment. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's just going to be about the fact that Trump is chasing his political opponents around with lawyers now. He got the lawyers to bow down. Now they're willing to fight for free, and now for free they're going down and hunting other attorneys that haven't done anything.
James Comey lied under oath before Congress. He weaponized the
What did
FBI.
he say? What did he say?
What did he
What did he
say?
say that was a lie?
Did you, well, how did they frame it? did you allow someone to leak knowledge from your office or approve of such exposures? And he said no. When in actuality, he did. He did allow certain information to be leaked to the public. So
So
that
did
was a
you pay
lie.
attention to the case? Because I did. Would you like to know what happened?
Tell us what happened. So what is he guilty
So,
of?
so what happened was the day after the information was leaked, they came to him and said, we leaked the information. The day after. This was the
Oh, we're not side
testimony
by
against
side.
him. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're not side by side on the
On the feed, we're not.
no, we're not side by side live.
That's weird because we're pinned to the screen, so I don't know what to do.
All right, well.
Let me unpin us and pin us again. I don't know why that we are. I did pin us. Oh, I know why. Because I know why. I got it. It should go to now. Thank you for pointing it out. Just continue to watch. Anyway, so he didn't have the guy who said that he gave the information and gave permission testified that he didn't speak to him until the day after he made the leak. That was his testimony. I believe that's the guy's name. Lindsey Halligan.
But remember, this is for both Trump and Hillary Clinton and some other sources as well. James Comey weaponizing the bureau, as it's called.
What he's
even
under
people that
indictment for, what he's under indictment for, he didn't know about till after it happened. That's it. There's no more to it.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then he has nothing to worry about. But in my circles, this man lied under oath to Congress, and now that Trump is back in power, and want to hold him accountable, like everybody else that came for Trump, and was wrong.
I don't know if they're holding people accountable for things that they actually did wrong. I mean, they've tried to get Letitia James for what, how many times now? And people are like, well, you don't really have a case. And it got to the point where he's like, indict her or else, basically. He didn't say that, but that's what he said. Or I'm replacing you. He came out. I mean, I'm not going to say there's mental decline.
But what is she accused of? Did she or did she not? What was it? Say that she was married to her father on paper or her Virginia property, using the property as a home, but actually using it as a commercial property, and as an attorney general, messing up simple real estate paperwork, the same kind of stuff that she accused him of, real estate botching.
That's the accusations, but nobody wants to be the one to put them in. Here's why nobody wants to be the one to put them in court. Oh, by the way, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not an attorney, but I can read. So here's what it appears that they don't want to be. Nobody wants to be the reason. Nobody wants to be the one to try and actually indict Comey and Letitia James. Nobody wants to be the one to stand in front of the court and sign the paperwork to push this paperwork through, because if you do that, then you get Giuliani'd. What does that mean in English? You go through, you push false accusations out, and your license gets revoked and you can't practice law no more. And nobody wants to stand up for Trump and do that, because that's what will happen. It's called sanctions. And nobody wants to be the one to get sanctioned and have their license revoked. So he's like, do this. And people are like, you do it. Looking around at each other, looking for who's going to be the stupid one to raise their hand. Got you, boss. Because after it's over, Trump ain't got you. And that's what we've seen. Now, again, I don't know if we're looking at mental decline per se.
Nice try.
However, he did go on social media at Pam Bondi, I guess, thinking that he was in a private messenger. Talking. He thought it was he's on social media, blasting it on social media. What's wrong with this mental decline? Talking about, giving her orders to break the law. And then backwalking it when he realizes that, oh snap, you mean people saw that? What did I just do? What have I done? The mental decline is increasingly evident, and only people that are willfully ignorant can evade that truth, in my opinion. I think a lot of people know it and just don't want to say it. But That's just my opinion. In this particular case, Comey did not know about what and it's come out. And they want to indict him, but nobody wants to put their name on that paperwork. I wouldn't. I go to law school. I graduated of Ivy League school, and I go and get the best job I could possibly get after college, and I'm working for the bureau for 10 years, and now I got to put my name on this false claim to get my license revoked. Negative capital. Not doing it. That's what I think is happening. And I've heard multiple lawyers make that same claim, like, I wouldn't do it. Not me. Nobody will come on camera and say it. Nobody wants to be on camera talking about this because they don't want to be targeted. So even though they'll speak to me in private, they won't talk about this in front for you guys. And I'm sorry, but I don't blame them. I wouldn't. Like this. I can't even ask them now. Like, they know they will get targeted. So let's move forward. Donald Trump has said he's going to end the war in Gaza through negotiations, no matter how long it takes. This coming from the guy coming into office promising to end the war in day one. This from the guy who's continuously supported Bibi, whatever his name is, Benjamin Netanyahu, on his illegal, corrupt activities, trying to completely eradicate an entire race of human beings. A term that's been thrown around for that is called genocide. And Trump is like, I'm gonna end it one day. It's almost the same song. Wait, I don't have my violin. It's almost the same song he sang in Ukraine. Do you think he actually has an intention to end these wars? Like, what's happening?
Well, I'm not sure. Seeing as though other things are happening behind the scenes, they just had I think the Secretary of Homeland Security, he just had like a meeting coming up, I believe, calling in a lot of generals, military leaders that Trump's calling. So something is up that's going on. Who knows? But so far, when it comes to Ukraine, the president has softened his stance and said that, Ukraine has the possibility of winning the war and some other things.
Oh, you
Oh, excuse
heard?
me.
Yes, that was his general, his favorite general that he loved so much. Finally came out and was like, all right, well, the stuff I've been telling you since March, that the president is lying to you. Russia's not winning that war. Yeah, I've been telling you this over and over and over and over and over, that Ukraine is not losing that war. That's why Russia is so upset. That's why rolling out the red carpet for this guy was so insane. You're backing him up and lying about the conditions of what's going on the ground. If you're lying about Russia winning the war and you're rolling out the red carpet for a war criminal, then what are your real motives? What do you think his real motives are? Why do you think he's doing these things? You're MAGA. You support this man. For the better or worse, sometimes, like I said on the recorded episode we did this week, like, people like Trump, not so much they don't always like his policies. They like the fact, like you've always said, he gets things done. You might not like what he's doing, but you like the fact that things are happening. Personally, I don't like what's happening, so I that's my opinion. Everybody has one. But what is your opinion on backing a war criminal and lying for Russia when we know that they started the war? They're losing the war now. Now you can't deny it anymore because his general's telling you the same thing that I've been telling you. What is
Well,
your take on why Trump is moving the way he's moving?
Well, there's certain factors here. The military industrial complex and all those interest groups that need wars to be perpetuated. And then the second piece is we've invested a lot into Ukraine already through no fault of the president with weaponry and resources and funding. So maybe they want to have some more ROI. And then again, you also have what's going on with Russia and BRICS and the whole presentation that China and Russia is doing with North Korea and
In
India and
India.
some other countries. So maybe people are like, all right, something else is amiss here. And we need to keep backing Ukraine because, this thing is just too far gone now that, if we let Russia actually win, this could be a problem long term. Sadly.
Russia wasn't winning the entire time. I don't understand it. Okay,
I wasn't
so
saying Russia winning. Oh, I'm just trying to say the war ending. That's my point. That the president was not supposed to be backing Ukraine unilaterally.
if
He was
Ukraine is actually winning the war, why is the president talking about, well, if Zelensky wants this war to end, he's got to concede territory? Why is he telling a man
that was
that's in the
before,
this has not changed?
but now he's saying that Ukraine is winning the war. Leo,
He wouldn't admit what was happening before, but Russia, anybody that spoke to people inside of Russia knew, because I was reporting on it. You wasn't listening, but I was telling you there was bombing infrastructures inside of Russia. People in Russia are living like, yo, we got to be able to be ready to take cover at any moment because drones can strike. This was happening months ago. This isn't new. It was hitting.
unfortunately, the only
Matter of
key
fact, as a
player.
matter of fact, Trump got so upset about it, he told Ukraine not to bomb inside of Russia. This don't bomb inside of Russia, concede territory is what he told this man. Do you recall him telling him not to bomb inside of Russia? And then telling him to concede territory afterwards?
No, not really. But the point, Leo, is that the only person that the world's looking to for leadership to end this war is who? President Trump. And that's the fact. United Nations can't do anything. NATO can't do anything. President Trump is the one man, masculinity toxic, that people are looking towards to end this war regardless. Who's going to stop the Putins? That's the question. So,
Wait, so let me get this right, just for kicks and giggles. You actually still believe Trump can end this war? Trump said he can't do it. So why is it you believe he can do it still?
because
How
because
does MAGA think that he could do it when he's like, I thought I had a relationship with Putin, but
because again, who else is talking to Putin? Who else can communicate with Putin? Who else?
right, nobody else can talk to him because if they see him, they're going to arrest him because he's a war criminal. Only Trump will deal with war criminals like they cool.
So it looks like the war has to keep going, right?
No, what it really looks
It's
like
the one
is
of the countries of the
Russia's getting
story.
back. Russia's getting walked down. That's what it looked like. It's to the point now where Trump, because America's not, I can't blame that on America, where Trump has to admit it because it's so bad. That's what it looks like. It looks like he tried to cover it up as long as he could. He covered for Putin as long as he could, but Putin is losing. That's what it looks like. But that's just me coming from, third world. Anyway, so to you, it looks like Trump's changed his mind suddenly. Russia's all of a sudden losing. So now that Russia's losing, do you think they're going to concede?
They have so many other allies going on. For example, international economics is a little bit more tricky. And again, it's not Trump's strong suit in the grand scheme of things. That's why I
But
think
you just
there's
said he's the
other
only
things.
one that can end it. So which one is it? It's not his strong suit, or he's
I
the
said,
golden
well,
boy
there's
who
no
can do
other.
it.
Well, no, Leah, you're always trying to put things in my mouth that I don't say. I'm trying to tell you who else is there other than Trump so far, though. But there's no other
Zelensky's
mechanisms.
ending it. Zelensky's ending it.
No. Okay. Well, then that means Zelensky has to win the war.
He's winning, right?
Well, then there you go. But the point is this: the American interest of being involved in Ukraine right now is beyond Trump and his ego and his decision making, in my opinion, of what's going on. And that's pretty much it. And the only person the world looks to and scrutinizes to end the war is President Trump. And they try to hold him accountable because he said he was going to do so. But his actions show that, yes, he's the only one that could communicate with Zelensky and Putin. That's it. Nobody else has been able to successfully get to the table at that point to mediate.
I think that it's just that Putin won't step foot inside another country because they know that he knows they'll arrest him because he's a war criminal. But who cares about facts? So let's talk about the Epstein thing.
Why? This thing is over with. Just let
Over
it
with.
die, right?
Oh, so
Just
you
let
didn't
it
know
die.
about? So you don't know new things came out today?
I'm sure they did, but in the grand scheme of things, it's happening. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
you might want to pay attention because here's what's happening. The Republicans have been fighting off keeping those files out of the Democrats' hands. Trump got caught red-handed destroying Epstein files at this point. Why was he destroying Epstein files? Because there was a little vote in Arizona that put in another Democrat. And with that, they can get, the 281 votes, I believe it is, that they need in order to force the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. So anybody attached is now very nervous. And it appears that because of that particular election, those files are going to be released soon. The Department of Justice has to violate Congress, which is, they probably will, because that's what they've been doing all along anyway. But right now, it looks like they're going to get the votes to actually force the release of the files. In the interim, more things have come out about the files. Some other files have released outside of the, there's terabytes of information. I think they only had released 3,000 pages out of terabytes. So they released 0.001% of it or something stupid like that. Stuff that was always already public domain. But now new things are coming out that's not public, that was not already public domain. And one of those things happens to be the reason Elon knew that Trump was in the files, because he too was on the island. And they said something about one of the princes, but I don't want to get into all of that. Prince Harry or something, or Harry, whatever it is, I don't know. But Elon Musk has been to the island himself. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. Again, that's the other reason why allegedly they're taking their time with this, because there's a lot of people that was just on the island for being on the island's sake, and whose name is there, and that maybe destroyed their whole brand as such a result.
Well, your boy Jimmy Kimmel is back on.
And his ratings are down the toilet after that one bump. Oh, he's back in the controversy. Their YouTubers. Actually, this channel might be getting more viewers by his show by this time next week.
Hey, we're doing all right, man. Don't do that.
Because his show is horrible, and it should have been canceled a long time ago. Especially when he did that blackface version of Karl Malone.
That's disgusting. I didn't see it though, so until I've seen it for myself, I can't comment. But from what I didn't see it, and from what you said, it sounds disgusting. Now I have to look it up, because that would piss me off. What is going on? Why is Trump trying to send troops into Portland and authorizing the use of full force? What is happening? You got people talking about
federal
destroying the
agents are
UN,
being attacked by a terrorist group known as Antifa. So. Oh yeah, did Ice Cube's bus get firebombed because they thought the word ice on Ice Cube's bus meant immigration? So yes, it is serious. These are facts.
See, now, what evidence is it that Antifa did this? Did they capture somebody and they admit they was Antifa? No. Did somebody leave weapons that said something that said Antifa? Did they pick up fingerprints from somebody from Antifa? Why are you saying Antifa? Why are you spreading false information?
No, that's the information as I see it online.
That's what you see online. Okay, so there's a critical thinking channel. So let's use critical thinking. What evidence is there to link this so-called Antifa group? There's none. I hear your wheel spinning. There's nowhere to go. You're trapped in quicksand.
Okay, well, I'll leave it to the viewer and their research.
Yes, the right side is saying it's Antifa, but there's no evidence. The right side makes a lot of claims with no evidence. There's no evidence at all anywhere that any group called Antifa bombed Ice Cube's bus.
The mainstream media doesn't do its journalistic job, but in the meantime, in public opinion,
now I'm gonna say something on this channel. Hold up, I'm gonna say something on this channel. I'm gonna say something on this channel I probably shouldn't say. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try and say it in a way that won't get me in trouble. But I'm gonna tell you, between me and you, Ice Cube was a little too calm about it happening. You feel where I'm coming from? Well, oh man, this kind of thing happens. Not a big deal. But yo, I got a tour coming up. I'm just saying.
Well, publicity stunts do happen. So that is a terminology that is used in the entertainment industry, as you well know. Use
that term, right? I mean, when I read the article, that's what it looked like to me. Because he was too cool about it. Yo, your bus got bombed, and what you're talking about is your tour? Nobody got hurt. Oh man, we got this tour coming up. Yo, when I do this tour, I'm gonna be bringing back some of my old music, some of my new music. I'm trying to bring fresh. Like, yo, you're not your tour. That's what you're talking about, all right, man. So, my opinion, I don't think it was Antifa. I'll leave it at that. So back to these troops in Portland. What were you saying?
I was saying that yes, federal agents, ICE, are being attacked by protesters. So now that people are getting injured and there's a lot of gunplay involved, again, when it comes to crime,
What true? Okay, so you had the thing in Texas with somebody, I think it was Texas, where they attacked an ICE station, and you're blaming the left for it. So, but the only people that got hurt were immigrants. You're blaming the left, but the only people hurt were immigrants.
but you're talking about Oregon now. Why are we in Texas?
Oh, hold up. Let's look, because I'm walking this through. You said that people are getting hurt. No.
That's what this is
Let's
called,
connect it.
walking
Let's
this
connect it.
through.
Let's connect it. So the one incident we know there was gunplay that I know of, maybe you can tell me more. The only people that got hurt was immigrants. ICE agents weren't hurt. So why are we authorizing the use of full force on people? What was your reason for that again? Can you give me an incident where it required full force that wasn't used?
Well, I thought
In Oregon's the only time I know a gunplay. It was, once again, a redneck, white, hillbilly MAGA person that did the shooting with no connection to the left whatsoever. And the only people that got hurt was immigrants. Now, why are we sending people in Portland talking about use full force?
Again, I gotta see it now. Trump said full force if necessary. So there you go. This is Portland, Oregon. Right,
So now
ICE
you got, listen,
facilities, yeah, where they're keeping where they're keeping the illegals in the country. Yeah, they're trying to attack these installations, these federal property. It makes sense.
what attack outside of the one that was done by the MAGA guy was done? Is there another one that you can point to? Because I don't know of any other. And he only killed immigrants. So you're authorizing the full force to protect the immigrants? Because if not, what are you talking about?
Again, so far from what I'm seeing here, nationwide, when it comes to ICE, detention centers, and deportation, once again, the president's trying to, nearly a blank check at this point to get it done. So this looks like he's tired of all these incidents happening, and this right now should be a deterrent.
You know what's a deterrent? Me having to worry about walking out my door and getting run up on by people and getting pulled over, and people hopping out of a truck with masks on, guns out, smashing my window into my car. I'm gonna think I'm getting robbed. I don't know about you, but that shit sound like I'm getting robbed.
Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that because they brought back racial profiling, and you don't fit the profile, black man. So why stir the pot? It has nothing to do with you.
What do Spanish people look like?
Yes, what do they look like, Leo?
People of color.
Oh, there comes a broad brush. BIPOC, huh? But that's not the case. So,
It has been the case.
but not for them.
They're attacking Americans. They broke an old man's jaw. They kicked the old woman while she was on the ground recording it. Come on, man. This is like, yo, they broke into this man's business, and when he's like, yo, what are you doing here? They broke his jaw. He was 80. Like, he was an 80-year-old man, American citizen. Dudes with masks on, guns drawn. That's horrifying. What are you talking about? They ran up in there like robbers in a bank. That's what they did. They ran up in that business like they're doing all across the country, like they bank robbers trying to get behind that glass window and trying to see what's in the safe deposit box. That's how they running up in these businesses. Guns drawn, masks on. It's horrifying. It sounds like a scene from a bad B movie. And they're doing it in real life on a consistent basis. Sounds like I could be in the store shopping for something for my kid with my 8-year-old, and ICE run up guns with AKs out and masks on their face, talking about everybody get down. Because that's what they're doing. It sounds like a reason to be concerned. Very, very concerned.
Well, again, no matter how much you hype it up and how much fear mongering you do, Black America, because that seems to be the place that you're bringing back center to, has very little to worry about. unless they're out there trying to protest and obstruct, and maybe members of Antifa to shut down the federal investigations and interfere. Then they may have something to fear about. But if they're just going about their business, oh, wait a minute. As a matter of fact, black workers like from FedEx and beyond have complained about all these protests as well. So it's interfering with our daily day. So there you
So let me
have
get
it.
this right. So now you're complaining about people carrying on their first. Now you're complaining about the First Amendment.
Now, I'm not complaining about anything.
Well, you
I'm just
just
saying
said
that
that you
black
don't have
people have
nothing to
nothing to
worry
worry
about unless
about.
you're. What you just said was you don't have nothing to worry about unless you're practicing your First Amendment right for assembly. Am
No,
I right?
if you use that First Amendment right for assembly to interfere with a federal investigation, you do not have a First Amendment right. Your amendment rights would be totally violated if you are interfering and breaking the law. Understand?
And what law that they're breaking that the people that work at FedEx are complaining about?
Well, they're complaining about all the protesters that are trying to interfere with ICE's work and blocking off roadways, endangering people entering buildings. That's regular workers that want to just go to work and get past these protesters and these paid peaceful protesters and rallies. So,
And for you, they're all paid, even though there's obviously people showing up because they're worried about a king, so no kings. What else do we got? Because I know you're on a limited time today. We got two other big topics to cover. I'll let you choose which one first. MAGA or the government shutdown?
what? Listen.
MAHA or the government shutdown, excuse me.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, let's go with Maha for 200, Alex.
Oh,
Well, once
wow. Right
again,
out of my playbook. Go ahead.
Well, once again, Maha, make America healthy again. Shout out to Robert F. Kennedy. Disclaimer, unlike those other fake journalists, I used to work for his PAC, so I do have a bias here and very pro Kennedy when it comes to health. He is once again blowing the whistle on autism and all these vaccines. And remember, like I told somebody today, removing the word mandate. They're not going to throw you in jail or not let you use a bathroom or you have to reveal your vaccine status when you enter a building anymore, thanks to Kenny. So that's a good thing. If you remember the lockdown, if you remember the true censorship, sort of, on social media and beyond for posting opinion about the needle in the arm for Dr. Fauci, then you should be with the program. And that's what I can say about that. And no more ODing off Tylenol while pregnant, ladies, just despite President Donald Trump. That's what I gotta say.
And listening to Donald Trump speak about acetaminophen, or try to speak about it because he can't pronounce it, which is the active ingredient in Tylenol, which means when you take Tylenol, what you're doing is you're taking a pill that has acetaminophen in it that'll work in your blood to reduce your fever and pain, because that's what the active ingredient is. That's the thing that actually works. The active ingredient is called acetaminophen that Trump was trying to pronounce. So when he went to Tylenol instead, good choice. But listening to him give science advice, medical advice about a word he couldn't pronounce might have been one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Like, I watched a horror movie earlier today. It was a good horror movie, but it had nothing close on watching a man tell a bunch of pregnant women what not to do, what not to take, and he couldn't even pronounce the word. That was like, yo, you're the president. People are listening to you. Well, then again, no, I think it was scarier when I watched him say, put bleach in your arm for fight COVID. That was scary because people was doing that too. People listen to this man. And I don't think that
Well, I
enough.
highly encourage everybody to put the brakes of listening to the president and listen to the Secretary of the Health and Human Services, which is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And we can't say this man's name enough because it's always Donald Trump. Even though, look at some of the hearings. This man goes before Congress and they just yell at him. But he sits there, he takes it, and he defends himself, and he tries to prevent the facts. He also tries to appoint certain people to his department that are professional enough to have years of experience in fighting the what? Big pharma, because we all know big pharma is bad and the lobbyists they're in, pushing these poisons just to perpetuate unhealthy lifestyles so they can make money trying to push solutions and cures that just exacerbate the problem to make more profit. So,
I agree with some of the stuff you said just there. I do agree that big pharma is a huge problem and that Kennedy's been fighting them and wants to fight them. That's where our agreements are. Here's the problem I have. RF Kennedy is like and acetaminophen. We must stop using Tylenol. You know what he didn't do when he said that? Something that, the right side is very good for. He didn't present any facts. He didn't say, this is what the studies found, and this is the reason we're making the suggestion. He just said, this is what we found, and that's it. What did you find? What is actually happening? What is the science? He's not going to give you that because he doesn't have science behind it. He has hypotheses and theories, which is good because a good science experiment has to start. I used to teach science for a couple of years. It has to start with a hypothesis. You have to have a theory. And then you study that theory. You start working out to see if that theory makes sense. You start conducting experiments, something that could not possibly have been done since he's been in office. That the math isn't mathing, bruh. He could not have figured that out in this amount of time. It's not possible. He has no science behind telling people to stop taking this medicine. He's only presenting, don't take it. And that's it. There's no reason. There's no, well, it causes this. How does it cause autism? How does it cause
natural
autism?
immunity. So you say when he says natural immunity, that should just say, hey, the body naturally heals itself. Like if you get cut by a piece of paper right now, Leo, your body antibodies, start to build the platelets around the
unless
cut.
you get an infection, and then if you don't get antibiotics, you die.
And then proper diet and exercise.
Won't help you if you don't get antibiotics. If you get infected, all the exercise and eating healthy is not going to stop it. You need antibiotics. If you get certain things, you need medicine for it.
But not always. And that's the point. They want to make sure always you need medicine. And Kennedy's like, no.
What?
No. Yes.
What are you saying? What the hell are you saying?
The Amish. That's the prime. That's the control group. Remember the control group? The Amish are always back to Kennedy's control book. Hey, these guys will take vaccines and their lives are not destroyed. And they don't have outbreaks and epidemics and all these wonderful things. Why is that?
Because they don't have the names to call the stuff when they do get it. You speak to an Amish person and ask them how many people in their community have autism. You know their response? 1, 2,
I didn't say autism.
Wait.
You
what
said
is
autism. I said diseases and all these ailments. You said autism.
Wait a minute, time out. So you think because they don't use light bulbs that they don't use medicine?
Vaccines. We're talking
about.
So
you think they don't? You don't think they get these diseases? Is that what you're saying?
Not on the scale of an epidemic of this country and so unhealthy.
How do you? Okay, so here's what you don't seem to understand.
That's the control group.
You can't use a control group that isn't being measured. There's no measurement within the Amish community.
It's the time.
There's no measurement because they don't.
They look at the Amish. Amish have been taking vaccines since the explosion of all this vaccine schedule in the 80s, 70s. And generationally, they don't have these ailments that the rest of society has. And that's always the fallback. And it's just simple logic.
You do not know that because they're not tested. You don't know what they have. You're talking about a group of people that inbreed. What are you talking about?
Here we go.
I'm stating facts.
If they did inbreed, wouldn't they have a high rate of retardation and those kind of disabilities in children if they did inbreed? Mm-hmm.
Here's the answer to that. Are you ready? Yes.
But they don't. So what's the
problem? Whoa. How do you know that?
So far, it's not all over the media, is it? The media must be right.
That was silly.
Okay. Unless they keep their own internal communication, so we don't know they have all these problems, and we've all
Of course they have all these problems. Yes, they have all those problems. The answer is yes, they have them. In big time. If you don't believe me, here's what you do. The Amish might not tell you about it, but speak to another Jewish person that's not part of that community, and they will tell you.
Jewish and Amish are two separate entities, my friend. But okay.
Well, who are the Amish?
The Amish are, let's say, back to the Mayflower, American history, settlers that came to this country, the Quakers, all those people that
the Quakers
that just want to stay in this particular time period of simplicity and not giving into modern technologies. So they do horse and buggy. They do agriculture.
I tell you what, they also have a high rate of mental retardation.
Well, I like to see that, Leo.
then go to an Amish community.
Use the R word. Oh my gosh. Let's see.
And we have one other thing to talk about before we go.
Yeah, our viewership is kind of low today.
Yeah, I noticed that. We'll deal with that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why.
I think you know what I think it is. I think we've been flagged because some of the things we've been talking about was kind of inflammatory. So once again, YouTube might put the algorithm against us at this point. I'm not sure what the reports say at your end. That's what that says to me because the notification was there, and
Thank you, Crizzy. I did the Amish. That's right, the Amish are Christian. Yeah, but I
no,
mean, exceedingly low, 648.
I mean, we still have 19,000 subscribers, which is probably more than Jimmy Kimmel at this point because nobody's interested in seeing him at all. Poor baby. Donald Trump. It must be Donald Trump telling people not to watch the show.
I don't think he's paying any attention to us. We're not big enough for that yet. He only deals with people in the millions. But and even them, he's not. The Midas touch is doing good. They doing good. Anyway, there was one other topic we had to hit because I know your time limit is short. So, government shutdown tomorrow and Tuesday. What do you think is going to happen and why?
I think the government is going to shut down because the Democrats have no plan. And I sent you some information, a video. I know you're very busy. You don't have time to watch the videos, but basically, they're asking for concessions on things that Republicans will not budge on.
And what are they asking for concessions on?
They want to extend the COVID Medicaid, I think, requirements, something like that. They're trying to extend that. And it's like, well, COVID lockdown is over. Why do we need this extension if this crisis is over? It's like an emergency act. They're trying to extend it. And so, focus, it makes no sense. There's no COVID lockdown, anything. So we don't need this kind of medical.
The only thing extension. I know that it was asking for was an extension of what people used to call Obamacare, what is better known by its correct name, the Affordable Care Act, which the credits run out of at the end of this month, and everybody's premiums skyrocket afterwards. I know of no such COVID anything. It's the Affordable Care Act. And that is something that Trump has been promising to end. And you said that the Democrats have no plan. The Republicans have no plan to replace it either. They're just going to let people's premiums go up. There's no plan to replace it. So the Republicans are the ones without a plan. And the Democrats are saying, don't let the credits die without something in place to replace it. It's the Republicans' lack of a plan that the Democrats are fighting against.
Well, long story short,
set the facts straight.
Wait, if they don't come up with a solution between now and October 1st, midnight, that means a lot of people are going to give Trump what he wants, which is to doge a lot of people's jobs. And this time he'll be allowed to do it. And there won't be any court that can save him. And that's a fact.
Why don't you explain that? Yeah, it is. But explain that, because can you explain that thoroughly? Like, can you explain it? No, it's not. No, that's something that I want people to understand. You're right. Yeah, there's nothing. I can't argue that. It's correct.
Right.
But why does that mechanism work that way? Can you explain it? I can. But being that that's your party, I'd love to hear you explain that.
I'm not a Republican, once again. So we got to keep the facts here for entertainment purposes. Number one, the fiscal calendar on the federal level is from September 30th to October 1st. And if the budget is not approved or extended, federal workers can get terminated or layover. There was like a layover period in which they could furlough. That's the vocabulary, furlough to the budget being approved. Or there could be a hiring freeze, in which we don't hire any new employees in order to maintain the budget. But yes, if this is not approved, President Trump has made it very clear. Listen, I will have the legal right and obligation to terminate everybody and no coming back. Game over. Do not pass go. And that's the way the rules are written.
Well, it's not even just that the rules are written that way. It's more along the lines of what you just said in a more easily put understandable way is once the fiscal year runs out, once the budget runs out, there's no more money for everybody. And Congress can't protect people because how do you say you got to keep these people employed if there's no money for them? So then the president has the ability to say, well, I got to choose who stays and who goes to fit within the constraints of the budget that I now have. So being that the budget is slimmed down, he has the ability to say, well, these people got to go. We can't afford them no more. And once they're gone, even after the freeze is over, Congress can't just be like, all right, bring them back. That's not how it works. Once they're gone, they're gone. So this freeze, before when Trump was trying to fire people, it was illegal for him to do it because Congress controls the purse strings. They're the ones that could determine who works and who doesn't. The executive branch doesn't have that capability. When he tried it, even the courts was like, you're doing too much. You can't do that. So now what he's doing, what it appears that he's doing is he's saying, we will hurt the American people by taking away their ability to afford medical treatments, to be able to see their doctor, and force this freeze. And once this freeze comes, now I have the capability to say, well, we can't afford you no more. I know I fired you, you came back, courts, they said you can, all that, whatever. Bye. Now we can fire you and the courts can't bring you back because legal constraints. And that's what it appears. I didn't think this up. I didn't grasp that. This was all Dion. Thank you, Dion, for pointing out the facts here because I didn't see it.
That's right. You got to learn how the government works, my friend. As you can see, all people that he's been dodging, have you guys felt any interruption in government services? A lot of times people say no, they don't know what's going on. But this media mainstream legacy keeps emphasizing, scrutinizing this administration so much that they don't see the practicality of certain things. So I'm glad hopefully people can appreciate these nuances like I do.
All right. I'm a little bit lost. So what you're saying is that people are not seeing the slowdown in services that has occurred since the layoffs. You're saying that the people that you talk to and deal with have not seen the slowdown in services. That's what you're going with.
How has terminations of the DEI office at the Department of Energy affected anybody? You see what I'm saying? This is what people are talking about, the extra fat and bloat of the government. How has the firing of the
Hold on,
entire
wait. So you're conflicted. Those are two conflicting things.
how?
So what happens when they lay people off with DEI? What happens then?
I'm talking about services.
What happens when they lay people off with DEI?
I don't know. You tell me. They unemployment, something.
Well, they have to fill them shoes. So now they bring in somebody that's not DEI. So they lay off their DEI and bring in a white guy.
No,
The shoes
that's
are
not true
filled.
at all, Leo. We're talking about what Trump is doing. Trump is dodging a lot of departments. A
And what
lot of people,
happens? What happens to them positions? Do you think they just
they
go
don't
unfilled?
exist anymore. They don't get filled. They probably have one person doing 8 people's jobs. How about that? Long story short, they're not hiring
So
at
if
this
one
point.
person's doing 8 people's jobs, then the work slows down. If they don't, then they fill
But
the
have people
shoes.
seen any shifts in services? Has anything
Yes.
changed? What services have you seen things change at, Leo? And you felt the pinch?
Me myself, I don't really use a lot of government services, so I haven't had to deal with that. But
Post
the people
office.
the lines in the post office suck, bro.
So they remain the same. Uh,
Nah,
uh, what other federal services? IRS. Did you get your tax return on time?
I'm still waiting. I wish I
Is it
was
the first
joking.
time like this?
And I filed on time.
Well, now maybe IRS is there, but I got my return. I'm doing pretty okay with the return I got. I turned in late too, by the way. The IRS is the
Congratulations.
same thing. It's like what Department of Education. Has anything happened much? No.
They haven't chopped it down yet, but it's about to happen. Come on, you're acting like you don't know what's about to happen.
U.S. aid. Oh wow, U.S. aid was the most gutted, right? How's that? How did that affect society? It did.
I, Go to Africa and ask them. I've heard the horror stories. Are you kidding me?
They're pretty happy America's not bribing their dictators anymore.
Depends
and
on
all
who.
their
Yeah,
gender
it depends on.
experimentations.
That really depends on who you talk to and what part of Africa. The people that's not getting the aid for AIDS that they were getting are not exactly jumping for joy. The people that are dying and getting sick are not happy. The people in charge that were making their money in the back door anyway, they don't care. It's the ordinary citizens, just like here. You know, Trump's people is not feeling a pinch from rent going up. But you go ahead and try and move and see what you can afford. It's just like here. So anyway, so the government seems like it's going to shut down and people seem like they're going to lose their jobs. That's a brilliant tactic on the work of Trump. I don't think he came up with it. I don't think he's got that much left. I think that there's somebody that's whispering in his ear, patting him on the back, telling him how good of a job he's doing. I think that if it had been 20 years ago, he might have been able to do that. I honestly don't think he has it. He's confusing social media posts with private messages, which is horrifying. That means that Trump doesn't know where he's at or what he's doing at some points.
Okay.
He might be as bad as Biden, if not worse. I don't know which one is worse at this point. I know Trump is doing worse things. The people that were handling Biden at least were keeping the country afloat. The people that are handling Trump are talking about. I don't want to say it on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out a way. I mean, I could say that they want to treat the UN, which is in the middle of Manhattan, like Ukraine treats Russia, or like Russia treats Ukraine, rather. They just want to go in and drop bees on them. That's what the MAGA team is talking about. They want to see happen in Manhattan to the UN. It's appalling. Like, you really said that? And then it wasn't just one person. You had multiple people saying it. Like, yo, it's in Manhattan. What are you talking about? Like, the United States, not only is it in the United States, but the United States has a consistent presence there. So you're talking about dropping something to destroy a building with U.S. citizens inside of it. What are you talking about? But that's what we're dealing with today. Anyway, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe. Dion, you got anything else you want to say?
Yes. TikTok to midnight, September 30th, October 1st. Stay tuned in this think tank.
If you're thinking about not using Tylenol, I'm not going to tell you to use Tylenol. I'm not a doctor. So talk to a doctor. I don't care what your situation is.
Oh, God.
Don't listen to R.F. Kennedy. This man is not a scientist. He's not a doctor. I wouldn't say he's a buffoon, but I'm not qualified to call him that. I would have to talk to a psychiatrist to say, what is a buffoon? Oh, is it, an idiot's between 60 and 70 IQ, or morons between 50 and 60, he's a buffoon? I don't know. I would say he's not a scientist. He's not a medical nothing. He has no medical nothing with his name. There's no honorary doctor. He doesn't even have an honorary doctorate. The man does not know anything about medicine. Don't listen to him. Donald Trump spent his life robbing people in construction and building things, and he don't know. What do you know about science and medicine? You're listening. Don't listen to a man telling you not to use a word that he can't even pronounce. When the last time he told people to do something, they were pumping bleach into their arm. Oh my God. Jesus. That really happened. That's a real thing. He really told people that they did it. I don't want to laugh. It's not funny because people died, but speak to a qualified medical expert and get qualified medical expert advice. Don't listen to me. I don't know nothing. Shoot, I can pronounce the word, but that's about it. I know how to read. You can read for yourself. Even if you can do that, don't listen to me. Don't listen to Trump. Don't listen to RFK. Don't listen to Dion. No offense, Dion. I just said don't listen to me. There's no offense. Read for yourself. Draw your own conclusions. Get medical advice. And I want to leave with that. So we'll see what happens as far as the shutdown goes. Thank you for coming. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe, catch up. I see that we only have one person in there talking to us today. Thank you for coming, Chrissy. And drink plenty of water. Absolutely. Water is a healthy thing. Definitely get your hydrogen on your 2 parts hydrogen, your 1 part oxygen, and I think they call it H2O, something like that. And get your water. That's very healthy. That's what Dion was saying. Take care of yourself. Use natural things. Always do that. But like if you get a cut and it gets infected, you might need antibiotics. But that's neither here nor there. Get a medical expert. Get medical advice. And we'll be back at the same time next week, Sunday, 9 o'clock. There's episodes that come out every day. Check us out. This is Leo and Dion signing out. Thanks for coming.
Peace.